Okay, I'm going to do an example on part B because some people were struggling. So remember, given information and new information. So first, the ratio of the slant heights is 2 to 5. So I'm going to do this kind of the way we talked about. So the first thing I'm going to do, since they gave me a ratio and they talk about volume later in the problem, is I'm going to set up my ratio charts, scale, area, and volume. And the fact they gave me slant heights is one measurement that I can measure with a tape measure. That's a scale, that's a single individual length, and they told me that it's 2 to 5. So when they give me that measurement, they're giving me, remember we know these relationships, we call this first one A to B if the area is squared ratio of those and the volume is the cubed ratio of those. So they're basically telling me that A is 2 and B is 5, and I can now figure out any other ratios I want in my chart. So A squared to B squared would be squaring 2 and squaring 5, so it would be 4 to 25. And A cubed and B cubed would be 2 cubed and 5 cubed, so that would be 8 to 125. Now that I have my ratios for reference, I'm going to go back to my problem and notice that the problem was focused on volume. So I know I'm going to be using this volume ratio of 8 to 1 over 25. And then they gave me a volume of the larger pyramid and asked me to find the smaller one. So look at your ratios. These are small to large. So I know my problem is going to deal with the volume ratios, and I'm going to compare small to large, and my volume ratio is 8 to 125. But then they tell me the volume of the large pyramid is 500 pi. Don't worry about that pi, it's just like having a weird number like a radical or something in there, and I'm supposed to find the small one. Since these both represent ratios of the same thing, volumes of this pyramid, these should be equal to each other. And so I would set 8 over 125 equal to x over 500 pi. And then I can cross multiply these to solve. So I would have 125x equals 4,000 pi. And I would want to divide both sides by 125. And I'm just going to keep that pi in my answer, just like we have before for some of the surface area and volume stuff. And I'm just going to get a calculator and calculate what 4,000 divided by 125 is, and that's 32. So this will be 32 pi. So again, what was I answering? This 32 pi. Does that make sense? Well, it's smaller than the larger one, so it seems to make sense. And it was representing a volume, so this would be 32 pi. The units they gave me were in meters cubed, so this would also be meters cubed. So hopefully that can help you guys with the rest of the examples.